Okay guys, so let's do first things first, and pop a quick beer, and then we can talk about what we're gonna try and do tonight in regards of this PEQ. Have a conventional method of opening a beer with some tool that I find randomly in the shed, rather than just having a bottle opener in it. Make things so much easier. Anyway, when I get this beer open, it's better. So guys, we are going to tear down this PEQ. This is an Element PEQ unit. This is the 419. Comments, guys, please feel free to sling them in. I'm going to go to live chat, and then hopefully I can ping all of these open. So I'll just spin the camera around real quick. We can talk about what we're going to do. So thank you very much for joining. We're going to be looking at this. This is the Element 419 PEQ. It's the one with the torch on the side. It's got IR and also green laser on here. I'm tearing it down because these don't work particularly well off the bat. They don't zero particularly well. The lenses are normally cloudy, a little bit misty, and there's some really easy fixes for making these work a lot better. Now, the one that's on my Scar, I'm just going to spin round rather than turning it all round. The one that's on here is exactly the same. This is an Element as well, and I've managed to dial it in incredibly well. So I'm going to stop gassing. If you have any questions about this, please feel free to throw them in the comments box. 16 people watching, please throw a like on the video. That'd be absolutely awesome, and then we'll get this off the gun and we'll start tearing this down. Likes are always appreciated. Love you guys. Right, so yeah, I'm going to improve it. Or we're going to try, at least. So let's spin the camera back round. Let's get a view of the PEQ unit. Let's quickly get it off here. So what I've done on here as well, which you might be able to just see depending on the light, I've marked it in here with a pencil just so I can see where the rail alignment is. So I'm going to undo this screw very simply. Any of you guys that have fitted these PEQs before, nice thing to do, just roll it off the rail like so. What we're going to do is we're going to get the MP7 out of the way, move this back in like so. So see, pretty lightweight unit. Make sure you're taking your batteries out. I'm just gonna whip the back of this off like so, and just make sure there's no batteries in there. Okay, so first things first, see these Allen keys at the front? We've got 1, 2, and then we've got 1 at the top, 3. We need to get those off. So I will try and do as much of this on camera as possible. If you are watching, please feel free to throw us a like. That's absolutely awesome. And any comments when I can get them to come up would be absolutely awesome. Okay, so let's get the, and I might not be able to do the whole thing on camera, but I'll show you pretty much what you need to improve and what you need to change. So I'm just going to unwind these like so. And again, if you've got any questions, I will check the comments sort of sporadically as we're tearing this down. So we've got top one, and then we've got a bottom one. My hands are going to be in the way here, but it's really simple what I'm doing. I'm just taking these Allen keys out here. Let's just spin these out like so. Again, if any of you guys have got these, you're going to realise, and you'll probably know yourselves, how difficult these are to fucking zero. They're an absolute nightmare. And you'll understand why when I take this apart. Now, if anyone knows anything about the real LA5, they are epoxy resin pumped full. So it makes it, all of the thing is in here is waterproofed. And also, as well as them being waterproofed inside, they have very, very little movement apart from the co-aligned axle. So this one, this laser module, as you can see at the front, has been glued in. That's fine. We've taken the front off. Now we just need to undo some screws underneath the bottom. Easiest way of doing this, from what I can remember, is to just undo the back two. So we've got one here at the back, and then we've got one here to the right hand side. I'm just going to undo those now. I can get the Allen key in there. There we go. Just to break that. I'm pretty sure there's one under the sticker as well, from what I can remember. Haven't taken one of these apart in a little while. A little bit of trial and error, but we will get it apart. So there's a much smaller screw that goes in the bottom, and then one towards the lanyard area at the back. We're going to tear this down. Wow, it's been 5 minutes already. I've been talking way too much. Okay, so let's get this on there again. Lift that out. You need to make sure you don't get these mixed up. You've got some very different types of screws here, so I'm just going to quickly try and show you on camera. You've got, let's try and spin that round. You've got a really small threaded screw there. These are the ones that go in the bottom, or in the face rather. You've got one of these, it's got a bit bigger thread on it. You can hopefully see that. Don't get them mixed up, because you'll damage the unit. Now, from what I can remember, there's a little bit of prizing involved to get this unit apart. So you can see at the side there, it's just gently cracked. Get yourself a flathead screwdriver. Gently work that all the way around. What I can remember, there is a little bit of a pop towards the back. Pull this plug out. We can work around this side too. There's a little bit of work there that needs to be done. It's slowly coming apart. Don't know if you just heard that pop. Hopefully you can see this okay. It's not too dark. Just got to really gently work it. It will begin to come apart. Hopefully this is all on camera still. Just try and get a small screwdriver in there or something I can use just to prise it open. Got a really thin flat blade. One of these. Again, just work along. There's a little bit of glue in there from what it looks like. There we go. Okay, perfect. So now I've got the bottom unit off. You can see the whole thing's come apart, and we can start talking about the internals of this. Now the rubber holds it together. Best thing you can do with the base plate is just put it to one side. So hopefully we haven't done any major damage here. And we've got the front unit. I'm just going to take the top piece connector off the top. You can see the glass really doesn't do all that much. Right, there's no real difference between the two. Okay, so what we've got here at the minute is your FMA element, 419 PEQ unit completely taken apart. So the top and the bottom's off. Now where is the issue, you're going to ask? Now these two lasers are supposed to be co-aligned, so it means that they're both going to interject at the same point, and they clearly don't. As you can see side on from that position, that if we kind of square both these up straight, I'm going to try and do this without putting my hands in the way, they should be sort of tapering in, right? So they're dead straight, so they're co-aligned, not tapering in. If you look at them within there, you might not be able to tell, but they're sort of definitely not sat with a co-alignment. So this is a bit of a nightmare. Now the other thing that you do have is that this is just held in place by a spring that's in there. So hopefully you can see that in front of my nail. As you can see, I can easily move this with my finger. So every time you move your gun, every time you wiggle this thing around, this whole thing moves like so. And that is where you get your disalignment. That's also whenever you knock this thing, it comes out of zero. So I've tried to get mine as zeroed as possible. There's two things that you can do that really help this. One, you can just put some padding around the outside edge, around here and in this gap, so where my finger is. Now hopefully, if I take this back a little bit, you can see, if I try and get the camera to focus a little bit more, that there's a big gap in there, in here. You want to fill this with foam, and you want to fill this area here with some kind of dense foam just to hold it in place. You can see the difference between the two lasers now. Now the reason that I've taken this apart is because this laser face, the higher one, which is the IR, the one with the smaller dot on it, has got some dirt or something on the lens that's causing me to have multiple dots. And if I look on the inside of this lens, which I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see. Oh, you can see it. Okay, so if you look on there, if you can see, there's some glue around the outside of that edge. See it just like that? And this is causing me problems when the light's refracting. So when the laser is passing through these covers, I'm getting some refraction from this edge, and also these are pretty dirty. it's not a major issue that they are dirty, but the fact that there is some deposits on these lenses is going to cause you issues. Then looking down at the laser face itself in here, I need to make sure that these are nice and clean. And what we're going to do is we're going to simply pad this area out. Now, one of the other things that you can do is on the adjusters on the back here, you can see just here, see this little L shape that's in there? So it's L shaped round. You can Dremel this top area out and you can Dremel it flat. Now that's what I've done on some of my previous units, and that's really helped with adjustment. So if you're struggling to get left and right adjustment, then this is what you need to do. You need to Dremel out this so it's lower. That will stop the cant, as you can see, so that it holds it more straight. So I'm going to take a quick break there and allow you to ask some questions. So fire away with the questions. I know there'll be a few. I know that if there's anything sort of specific around this, I will have to come back to it, but let's see if there's any questions. 26 people watching, awesome. Guys, if you could whack a like on the video, that'd be absolutely awesome. Okay, so sorry guys, right, let's have a look. This is made like the MP ones, or does mine does not sight in? Yeah, so most of them are like this. The new Pro ones are very similar. All of them really are made from the same framework. Now, New Pro said that they'd put some patents on there and they'd made some slightly different ones, but I don't believe that it's different enough internally. If you put some foam around the lenses themselves, like that outside area, any of the old school guys that have been watching the channel for a long time, I did one of the mods to another version of this for a friend of mine, and I just padded the foam and he's had no problems with it since. So if you're running it on the GBBR, then try it, see if it will hold zero. Right, any other questions before I carry on? I know there is a slight delay here, and also you don't get to see all of the comments. I only seem to get a select few. So again, foam foam, you can use pretty much anything. So I just use packing foam. I will find some, I've got some kicking about somewhere to show you the sort of stuff that I use, but essentially it's just like soft packing foam. The other thing that you can use that's really, really good is, you know, the foam that you get for your lid, you know, like the little foam pads that you put inside your helmet, they're really good too. You want something with a little bit of movement, but something that will hold it and cushion it quite well. Packing foam, anything like that's really good. If you've got a pelly box or an old pelly box like the one I've got up here, you can use a bit of spare foam from the pelly case. That soft blue spongy foam that I've got in here is actually what I'm going to use. So you can use that, right? But yeah, any sort of soft foam, styrofoam, anything like that, anything that's going to hold them steady but still allow adjustment. Don't forget the adjustment's done from the back, right? So the front of the lenses is held in place, and the way that you angle this is from the back. So as you go up and down, left and right, it adjusts from the back. So if this is the laser end, this is the back end. So what I'm talking about here is the movement is done from the back of the unit. It's done from here. It's not done from the front. So the back is the bit that moves. So I'm going to spin round and we'll crack on with modding this one out. Right, so you can see the unit there. Hopefully that's nice and clear. What I want to do is I want to give these front lenses a bit of a clean. So try and get rid of some of this sort of goop off the front of here. So I'm going to go and get some cleaner. And just wipe this off with a real soft cloth, and then also I want to get a real kind of thin bit of this cloth, and I just want to clean off the lenses themselves as well. So the way that I choose to do this, I get an Allen key, I push it through to the end of the material, be very, very gentle. Then what I want to do is get some aerosol cleaner, something that is going to evaporate. Here I've just got a tiny bit of Mr. Muscle, just spray a little bit of it on the desk. Get it on the end, and then let's just see if we can get rid of some of the residue from the inside of here. I'm just using an Allen key inside here and just very, very gently giving that a clean. As you can see, it's beginning to mist up on the inside. We'll give this one the same, a bit of a clean. Again, got that mist up on the inside now, and then what I'd like to do is just leave that for a few minutes and then get a really soft cloth. or you can use the reverse side of the microfiber, and again give that a nice cleaning off like so. Just give it some time to dry because of the aerosol. Give that a good bit of a clean. It looks much better already. Hopefully you can see this okay. So you see they're beginning to clear up a little bit. We've still got some residue on the left hand side one, so let's give that another really good scrubbing off. Okay, perfect. So beginning to see now from a residue perspective they're much clearer. There's a few little bits of debris on there that I think we could clean up, but actual lens, the reflection in the lens now is nowhere near as misty as it was before. Hopefully you can see that okay. Right, okay, cool. So that's one of the main bits. The next component is going to be cleaning in here. So these are the lens faces themselves. Looking in there, they actually don't look too bad at all, but any slight little lens, any piece or fleck that's on the lens is going to cause some problems further on. What we also need to have a look at when you're making sure that you're going to get a nice clear laser is this is the cap that goes over the front. So we want to make sure that this is nice and clean too. Now if you look in, you're probably not going to be able to see it. Oh, you can. See, if you look at this top lens where my finger's behind, it's very dirty. It sounds stupid, but all these sorts of things are going to cause refraction a little bit further on. You can see the top lens has got a lot of stuff all over the back of it. So if you take my finger away, you see a lot of dirt there, and again on the bottom. So give these a good clean, right? If you want a nice accurate laser, little things like that are going to make a difference. What we're then going to do is we're going to pad this out. Now I probably won't do this on video because it takes a long time, and you really need to make sure that you've got an even pad all the way around. But the best thing is just wedge it in here, wedge it around the outside. What I might choose to do is download this video and then show that once it's been added in. Alternatively, what I can try and do is find some foam now, and I will pad it out now. So any questions, guys, feel free to fire them over. Hopefully this is going to help you when it comes to modifying yours. How quick can you sink a cause? Yeah, fairly quick, bro. I can't remember the last time I was asked how quick I can sink a fucking beer. Jesus Christ. So that's something to consider, right? It's just that you've got to pack it out. Find the foam. All right, cool. If you guys are going to be willing to hang it out for a minute, I will find some foam and get packing this out. Right. Just having some beer. Let's get the box down. Let's get some foam out of the box. Okay. You have to bear with me a few minutes, guys. So, we've got some foam. Right, so, foam. A fairly hefty sized bit, but it will do for the moment. We can trim it down, so we'll get some scissors and cut some off. So, there's a lot to say about this foam, and it's pretty boring, but this is memory foam, right? So when you go online and you're looking for foam, you will get a few different types. Now this is the sort of stuff that you can put in a pillow, or you can put in a cot or whatever, right? You can sleep on this sort of stuff. What happens is you can compress it a lot and it will always return back to its original shape. Now I use this stuff in my pelly box for my gun because it's really good for shock absorbing, and it means it will always return. So even if you squash the fuck out of it, it will be fine. So what we need to do is we need to cut a thin wrap that will go all the way around the outside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this end that's fairly square. I'm going to get a set of decorating scissors, and I'm going to cut a piece off that is about, say, 8mm thick. So I'm just cutting through it here. Perfect, right? So we've now got this thin strip that's going to go around the outside. Now what we then need to do is we need to fit this in this outer area, and we need to poke it in all the way down. So to do that, we're going to have to cut the circumference shape round. So you're going to want it like this shape to slide over the top of the laser and to go all the way down, and you want it to go in there underneath the spring. So it's going to go down that outside edge all the way around into here. Now to do that, you're going to want a much thinner piece. So what we're going to do again now is just trim the length. So I'm going to just cut down the main part of the foam. Super simple. I'm going to tuck this in behind the laser, and then just work out roughly where I need to cut it off this side, which is about here. So just marked it with my thumb. Okay, perfect. So now we've got a nice little piece of memory foam to go in there. What we then choose to do is tuck that up like so, and you have to kind of work this in a little bit. I'm going to push it down the back, pull that forward like so, and up and round. Okay, perfect. So we just need to start working that back. There we go. So I'll show you what effect this has on the laser when I can just work that all the way back there like so. So it's the back bit that moves. The front is actually held in place by the laser itself, by the cover of the laser. So you see this ridge around the outside edge. The laser actually sits in there, so it holds these two front lenses forward. So what you've now got, and I think you guys would have seen the movement before, is it's much stiffer, right? So if I tap it, before it would wobble, it doesn't now. Just by adding a little bit of stability around the outside edge. Now you've still got the adjustment, which is fine, but it's much stiffer when it comes to actually sitting against something. The main thing is, if you're talking about recoil as well, or you can see some dirt on this lens. See where my nail is? You see that on there? But you can see now with the recoil and stuff, it's going to be like dampened. Now what I also like to do now is, now I've hooked this bit up around the outside edge, I like to get another piece, probably something like this. I want to cut like a long narrow strip just to sit around the front edge. So I'm going to just trim the overall length of this down, like so. Careful with your fingers. And then I'm going to tuck this under the front edge, so. And then just poke that towards the back. There we go. So it sits underneath the back of this screw, and then we've got some more stability for the front. So what we've now got is two areas of support, much more support for the laser itself, and it's all packed out. Really simple. Now what I would normally suggest, if I get a pen real quick, or a pencil, some sort of very narrow marker, is that there's two issues with this. If you cannot get more adjustment, what you need to do is Dremel this down. So if I show you the shape of this, you want to Dremel this adjuster down by about half. So put it on a belt sander or Dremel it, either, and you want to take the width of this down here away by half. So you want to sort of Dremel down to there. Now I'm lucky that this is ranged in at distance, so I've got enough adjustment on this, luckily. The main thing was that I was losing zero on the recoil of the MP7. So the actual adjustment's fine, but what I needed to make sure is that it's more stable. And the other thing I need to do is then finally is just clean the lenses and put this away. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly grab some cotton buds and clean the lenses out with some cotton buds and a little bit of alcohol, and then I'll piece this back together and I'll show you the difference in the stability. Any questions, guys, while I'm gone, please feel free to sling them in the messages, and we'll go from there. You was expecting a demo of Luke, you want to see me drink beers? Okay, so I haven't lost too much audience by running off. Okay, so if you've just joined and we're just filming the back of a PEQ, it's pretty boring, I know, but we're going to go through clean the lenses. Now, another thing you can use, a little bit of Windoline. And what I'm going to do is just spray a little puddle of it here. That's fine. The mat's clean and degreased. So, a little bit of Windoline down here. Just put that on the cotton bud. Let that soak up a little bit of it. We'll give the lenses another quick wipe off. While we've got it apart, give these a real good clean. That's fine. And then we'll go in, clean the lenses, see if we can get anything off of those. And there is definitely some residue on here, so you can see I've just compressed that front shape to get in on the lens. See, there is a little bit of grub there, nothing too bad, but there's definitely some residue that's come off those lenses. Now, you know, the QC in a Chinese factory is probably not going to be great, but anything that we can do to try and alleviate any of the issues with accuracy. So I'm just giving these a turn. There's a load of crap that's come off that. So let's just see if I can get that to focus. See the dirt all over the top of that cotton bud. This is, you know, just going to cause you issues when it comes down to dialing in, and obviously the clarity of the point, and the clarity of the top of the laser. So let's give those a nice good cleaning off. Pretty happy with those now. They definitely look a bit cleaner, like a little bit more glossy. A lot less residue on there as well. Right, so let's give the front of this another wiping off then. Just give these little portholes a dry. Another cotton bud. Oh, squeaky clean. Okay, perfect. So there is a little bit of a knack to getting these back together. It is tricky. You have to have sort of, you know, using 10 fingers to try and get them back together. Best thing to do, put the lower half of the case on. Now, these are glued on previously, so you can run a stream of glue around the outside of them if you choose to. I probably won't. You can see where the glue residue sat in this top edge. So what you can do, if you want, you're a little bit anal, you can remove that old glue. I'll just do like so. There we go. I'm just going to remove the old glue from the outside. There isn't much glue other than on this top back corner, just from around where the battery sits. The best thing you can do is just run a seal of glue around the outside of it later on. So we're going to do is put the back edge on first, put that over and down like so. Make sure that everything's all nicely in place, all the wires are tucked away, and also that your rear connector for your plug is also squashed into place. So put the back on first, like so, and it will sort of clip into place. So you'll hear a little bit of a click. Let's just pull this tape out of the way. Hopefully you heard that little click into place. There we go. So this is all back as it was. Perfect. So let's put the other ones in. Don't forget, don't mix up your screws. You want the big threaded one to go in the bottom at the back near the connector, and the little thin screw, this one, the tiny one, goes over on the right hand side. So let's get them back into place. Screw that in like so. Just lightly screw them in just to hold the body together. There we go. Perfect. Okay. The next thing is to hold the lasers in place. You'll feel the spring tension and just pull the front over. You'll feel them clip into place. Also, once you've got them into place, they will be sitting central like so. So you can see the lasers in there, much clearer, and it should be semi-central. Okay, so that's how you tell that they're in place. You can't really see the bottom one too well. Anything, there's a little bit of residue on there. Let's just see if it's on the outside or the inside. Yeah, it's on the outside. That's now gone. See, them lasers are sitting central. Perfect. Okay, so the next thing to do is just hold it all together like so. Get these screws back in. Just put the top one in first. Sorry that this has been a bit of a long stream. Okay, so any questions about anything that we've done, anything that we've covered, any advice, anything like that, please feel free to stick them over now. I know this has been a long stream. I just wanted to get this PEQ fixed and at least in half decent condition. You can really see now the alignment of those is a lot more central. Like this one is pretty much bang on where it wasn't before. See how central that is? And much cleaner. There's a lot less fragmentation of the light that's on the front of that. Okay, so just joined. What have you done? Sorts out the zero. Yes. So Beefy mate, you'll have to watch this back. But yeah, I've showed you how you fix the zero on the PEQ by taking them apart and padding them out. This will enable it to hold zero as well. What you can probably see as well is just where the padding holds the back a little bit more square, where it doesn't sit right against the body. Beefy, if you go and check yours out, how it is at the moment, you'll probably, yeah, so the tape is to cover the adjustment screws. So I hate saying this all the time, but I shoot a lot left-handed, which means my right hand is down the side of the gun, like so. So I'm using my right-hand thumb. And just because the adjustment screws are here, I tape everything over so that I can't move it. If you're shooting right-handed, it's fine. Your thumb can slip over to here sometimes. But if you're shooting left-handed, your left hand has to come right over the top of the PEQ. So I use black tape, electrical tape, just to cover the screws. And it normally works an absolute treat. But as you can see now, from the center of that laser, that is almost absolutely bang on, just because we've padded it over a little bit more. And even the bottom one is really well aligned, as you can see that, like so. I've tried to get these lens covers as clean as possible. They still do seem a little bit dirty. Might need to be something that I address a little bit further on, but they're much cleaner than they were. And actually the zero on those, the alignment is really good. Okay, perfect. So that takes you through everything that you'll need to do to pretty much square up the laser into a good position. Will it be perfect for you? Probably not. You know, these are very cheap PEQs. They are not going to work anywhere, you know, like the real counterpart, but that will definitely stop the movement on this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dial this in tonight, see how I get on. If not, I may need to take it apart and you know, have a bit of a tinker with the insides. If you're not getting enough adjustment, then make sure you just Dremel out those adjusters. If you've got enough adjustment but it's not holding zero, all you need to do is just get yourself some nice foam padding like this, memory foam stuff. You can buy it online, super cheap, and just pad it out with this. You need some really small little bits. Strips like this will help you. So what I will do is just piece this back on over the top. I'm just putting these back on, the covers, and so on and so forth. Always get these round the wrong way. Like that. Let's put the bottom one on. There we go. Much cleaner than it looked before in there. Just need to get some batteries now, quickly test this out. So give me 2 seconds. just gone and got some CR123As. Let's pop that back in. This is once it's rebuilt. Let's just screw this on. We're not going to be able to see the IR light, obviously, but we can definitely check with the green laser to make sure that it's all focused and it's not misaligned too much. So just make sure it works first of all. So put it over to white light, and then you can see the laser. You can also see, if I go one more, that laser pinpoint is much cleaner than it was previously. It's a much smaller, much neater dot, and it's blooming out the camera a little bit, but if I point it a bit further away, you can see that there's a very neat dot there now, and there seems to be a lot less fragmentation. It's the IR pointer. You're not going to be able to see that, obviously. And we're just going to go back down to just torch. Torch seems to be okay on these, actually quite impressive considering, but the alignment of those is much better. So that's fixing the PEQ. Any questions, obviously fire them over. I'm going to have a beer, and doing that all live is pretty tough. Any questions, obviously fire them over. Will it hold zero? Jamie, it will now. It really should. So I have padded that out, and also the main thing about these, right, is the shock. You know, you've got a free floating body held by just springs. Now the memory foam will always return. That's why it's good to get good quality memory foam. So for example, right, you have the foam built like this. You can squash it and squash it and squash it like crazy, and this is not crushable foam. It will always return back, right? So no matter how much you squash it, you can hit it with a hammer, you can squash it like crazy, it will return. So this is really going to help you hold that zero. So for example, if it does move a little bit, this is just going to give it that extra stability. Again, is it going to solve all your problems? Are you going to dial it in at 500 meters? Could you use it on your AR? No, you couldn't. But it is going to help you get, you know, a 30-40 pound PEQ working, you know, half decent. Beefy epic. Tim, you've forgotten one screw. No, I haven't. 3 in the front, 2 underneath. 1, 2. Definitely haven't forgotten a screw. Jesus Christ, you lot. Got someone that wants me to down beers, and now someone's telling me I forgot a screw. Yes, Luke. Hail Satan. So, he just saw the dust cap, yeah, on the table. Yeah, it's not a screw. It's just a dust cap for the port. So, any other questions about that? I think it's pretty simple. But it is what it is. There you go. Dust cap's in. Is the TMG BBR yours? It's, well, it could be if I choose to keep it. I just don't know if I'm gonna. Could you replace the spring? Sorry. Could you replace the spring with foam? No, James, you can't. You need the spring for the adjustment. So the way these work essentially is you have a spring and it's on a bracket. And as you screw the bracket in, it compresses the unit and it moves the unit. The spring is just to hold the body in place. I would not recommend reducing any hold of the body. I would add to it, I would never reduce. So James, is a good point, but I would not take anything away, I would add to it. So what you've got now, and I'll show you this because this, you know, I trust this mod, is that you can see both lenses are very central, right? So you can see that one there where my finger is, it's like very central, right? So if I give it a really good whack, normally by that point this would have lost zero 100%. I know people that have got GBBs and whatever, and even, you know, the kick of this little menace will cause that to lose zero. If you look back in there now, you get the light again. There you go. Look how central that still is. I almost guarantee you, and this isn't just saying, you know, that this is the only way to do it, but I almost guarantee you that if you go and do that with, look, if you look at both lenses, how central both lenses are, if you go and give your FMA a whack like that, then I guarantee you it probably won't be, it won't be, it won't hold zero as good as that. Why is it with people wanting to down me to down fucking beers? Like, really? Please tell me 2012 was when you was born, and then I'll let you get off with it. But fuck me, stinking beers. Okay, any other questions before I bounce? I've got planning to do for the Nods event, so I'm heavily looking forward to it. But yeah, if you go and try and bash your normal PEQ about, you're probably going to have issues with it. This is, you know, taken a few bashes already, and it's very, very well aligned. So now you can see both lenses in there when I get there. Where's the camera? Oh, there we go. Hopefully the quality of the camera is good enough that you can see that. There you go. Perfect, perfect. I wear contact lenses when I play. I very rarely wear glasses unless I'm in front of the computer for like I only wear glasses if I'm in front of the computer for ages. Questions. Have you ever been to HQ in Yorkshire? I keep seeing THG tags all over. No, I haven't. Yeah, but I like contact lenses for playing. Didn't know they came with dust caps. Yes, the 419 does, the other ones don't. The 419 also comes with matte screws. So these screws are not anodized. The latest version comes with matte screws. The older one, which is the one on the scar, comes with anodized screws. Again, I've taped over my PEQ buttons and controls. So I'll re-zero this again tonight. Now I've taken it apart and set it up a little bit better. Hopefully that IR laser's slightly better as well, because it was misaligned and I was having some issues with a bit of blurm off of it, but it seems really, really good at the moment. It seems to have held in place nicely, so happy with that. Okay, any more questions before I go? Very rarely you don't see me in the office as well, which is, I guess, a surprise. Yeah, the reason I don't like wearing glasses with glasses is because under the night vision you can get a bit of like blem around the outside, and if you're wearing, you know, glasses, lens with a lens, it just makes night vision a little bit more uncomfortable. I have tried it, but with contact lenses it doesn't have any issues. Played DMR, know a decent platform, looking at getting my first riff. Get yourself a Tokyo Marui, anyone will do. If you want to go gas, get the MTR. If you don't want to go gas and you want the DMR platform, you can build any of the platforms out to have a longer rail, but I would highly recommend getting a Tokyo Marui. It's expensive for your first gun, but you definitely won't regret it. They're the best platform out there by a fucking mile. I've been saying this for a while. Tom Bryan, really, really good question. How does the IR laser compare to the GMP D-bow? My GMP D-bow, I had loads of problems with it. It started letterboxing. Letterboxing means that it goes from a dot to like an oval as the lens begins to unwind. They've got adjusters on the front, and essentially that will adjust the tilt and pan of the glass. As you turn it, it has a beveled edge on the back, and it will turn and move the glass, which will offset your zero. I actually had a load of nightmare issues with my GMP. I sent it back. I got another one in the end, and that I sold it with my 416. So I think that these are actually neater. They're lower to the rail. They're more compact, and with a little bit of work, they do work just as good. Okay, so yeah, by TM. Tom Bryan, any tips for night games without night vision? Yes, loads. Please don't feel like if you haven't got night vision you can't play at night. white light is incredibly powerful. Even the white light on this, which is not massively bright at all, but even that will cause night vision users an absolute headache. Be intelligent, play smart, use the shadows. Night vision is not magic. It will not allow you to see through fucking walls, through bushes. If you're on the ground and you're in a dark area, you're not going to be seen. Especially with the level of the lot of the night vision that's out there. Now, does that mean that you can sort of stand in a wood and stand out in open ground and slot people? No, they're probably going to see you. But if you use cover well, and you stay low, stay to the shadows, you're going to do really well. When you see a night vision user, you know, don't laser up his MV, but for sure, make sure that you use your white light proficiently. So if you think someone's there, you wanna break, white light, right? If you see a target, put some shots down, bang, 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 white light off, back in, right behind cover. Because the first thing they're going to do as a night vision user is focus on me returning fire. I'm going to focus on where that white light come from, and I'm going to put rounds down. So if you're not in cover and you stand out on the ground and you see someone, you white light and then you put rounds down, the likelihood is every person that's in that section with nods is going to hit you up. If you use cover correctly, the best thing you can do is out, white, like you think you're seeing someone, just a little bit of head movement, white light, put some rounds down and then into cover, and then either look at dropping that target, re-engaging again in the cease, like when the fire breaks, or, you know, from that point you can then start making moves and corrections dependent on if you did see someone, if you didn't see someone, is it more than one man in the section, how many people are with you. If there's a load of you guys together, then obviously continue on the contact, wait for him to get medicked, you know, see some more movement, break that again, you know, white light on. Use white light intelligently. If you just run around with it on constantly, you're going to get shot up real quick. The night vision users will use the shadows, that will use the darkness around you, and they'll hit you from a different angle. If you are very sporadic with your white light, if me and you are drawing guns at one another, and I use a mono, so it's a bit different for me, but someone with duals, for example, me and you are drawing on each other at the same time, and you do that in my face, when I've got my nods on, it's going to be very difficult for me to see and for me to engage you. So use white light power. You can be very, very proficient with white light, and a lot of people overlook that. They really do. You can be a very powerful player with decent white light. Now, I use one of these on the Scar. So I use one of these. It's called a Vampire. The 300V Vampire. You've got white light on here, which is incredibly bright. And then you've got the off mode, and then you've got IR as well. This is another thing that's really powerful, right? I've been against MV players, and I've broke up, run my hand underneath, put that IR light on. Oh, you can see it in there, the purpley sort of colour. And I've enabled to sort of blind other MV users and then engage with either the optic or, you know, just being able to see where they are. So, you know, you can even use IR as a non-night vision user, because IR light is incredibly bright to night vision users. So that's something you can consider. Looking at the state of the lens on the end of this now, I kind of want to clean this one, as this one is the most important one. Okay, any more questions before I bounce? I'm actually going to take this one apart as well tonight, and pad this one out again, because it's been a little while. I'm looking at picking up a pair of BMVD 40 QS2, which are their white phos nods. Have you tried their QS2? If so, thoughts on it? Okay, so what I would highly recommend, Luke, is that you try both before you buy them. Go to one of the Scott Country International Night Vision nights and try both. I actually didn't like white because I've been using green for a long period of time. You'll find a lot of guys that have used a lot of nods for a lot of time that get along with white, and some people don't. Some people find it too harsh, some people find it clearer for their eyes, some people don't find it as clear. It really depends on what you want. And this goes to a lot of guys out there as well that are looking at getting nods. Don't feel like Quicksilver has this massive advantage over green. what I would say, and this is just my opinion, but this is shared by a lot of guys, and when white phosphor started getting released to all the soft guys, and you know, a few years back, there was a lot of guys on the AR-15 forum talking about white phosphor, the original Lytton tubes. They said that white phosphor is better for edge detection and green is better for the shadows. So what they found is in urban environments, white phosphor is actually really good because it helps with edge detection. You can see like really sharp edges. So if someone's leaning out and doing a bit of pieing, or you know, doing a bit of sort of ducking in and out, it's really good to see that. If you're in the woods and you're in environments where there's lots of dark areas where there's pitch change or color change, the green is actually, you know, that people, you know, on general find it better. The flip side to that is that dependent on your eyes that are in your head and they're your eyes, you'll see things differently under different shit. You know, for me, my left eye is better with night vision than my right eye, but I'm right eye dominant, so I shoot right-handed right eye, but my left eye is better under MV, which is weird. And so you'll find that. And then when I had white phosphor nods on, I found that it looked really blue. When other people looked through it, they thought it was grey. So it really does depend. Everyone's eye is slightly different. If you want to spend the extra money and get white, you know, QS, then yeah, they're Quicksilver. I would try both, see which one you get along with. That would be my honest thoughts. Thanks for the tips, mate. Try to put them into use this weekend. Tom, yeah, enjoy it, mate. Stay low to the ground, use cover, get a fucking bright ass light, wait until people are close, draw them in, use lasers, you know, stuff like that. Or if you can just shoot natively through your optic, is even more powerful if you can do that, because you give off no light signature. Got an Element PEQ15, so came here to see your opinion. Stayed here for great advice. New 2 month in player, your videos helped with a choice of gear, so thanks, have a nice evening. Matt, nice one, dude, appreciate it. I like it when peeps take it upon themselves to buy IR patches with their team colours. Thanks for letting me know who and where you are. Mike, totally agree. I know a load of guys that are running out IR, and especially they wear these. Let me just get you one of these. So if a load of guys probably seen these before, they don't look like much in this light, but these are IR reflective patches. I see a lot of people wear these on their helmets and on their rigs and on their backs and stuff. Under IR light, any sort of IR light, this looks like tinfoil. It's the best way I can describe it. Mike, you might want to jump in here, but this looks like tinfoil. When light hits it, it refracts. It looks a bit like a disco ball, a little mini one on your back. So you're sweeping a target and you're breaching round, and if I put my IR torch on, which can light up a big area, this will glitter. And I see a lot of guys using these and not really understanding what they're for. They're really good right on the top of your helmet, right? Because light coming down is okay. So, but at the same time, these are on my wall for a reason. I don't personally wear these because I don't want people with IR light to see me. So, you know, people buying all these reflective patches and shit, pretty much like this. This is my burning church. That is IR reflective material in the background, and this will do the same thing. It will glitter like fuck. I normally take this off at night, unless I want to tear up, and then I leave it on. Okay, so just beware of what you're wearing, guys. All this, if you're gonna come and do MVG1 with us guys, and you're interested in night vision and all that sort of stuff, then, you know, come and hang out NVG1. It's a course that's going to be running 26th, 27th of October. We'll be talking about night vision. We'll be talking about lasers, PEQs, lighting, low light, no light, white light, red light, everything. We'll talk about the lot. Richie, he's probably the most experienced person I've ever come across with night vision. He's had more hours under him than guys that I know that have served, which is fucking crazy, but it's true. And yeah, he's extremely experienced, and you know, I'm not going to knock my own experience as well. I've spent a lot of time under nods. I've used Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3. I've used a lot. So duals, singles, ask me any questions you like. Best place to buy patches. If you want them custom, tack belts, other patches, you can buy them anywhere. Mike Marden, first thing that gives away positions from a huge distance, that draws attention from where the reflection is coming from NV users to home in on. Also, another thing to be cautious of is the reflection that you have in your tools. What do I mean by in your tools? So I will show you what I mean. See this? It's like a fucking glitter ball. Same as these, right? When you're not using them, try and have them covered. So if I put on the torch, you'll see what I mean. See that? See, it's gone white in there with the light hitting it. So that's what it looks to night vision. So I put a torch out and I see this. Can you see what I mean? Whack a thumbs up or a comment or something if you can see that. It goes white, right? Same as with these, they go white when the light hits the lens. So under night vision, that's incredibly bright. There you go. It looks like that through night vision. It like sparkles. So same with IR light. When IR light hits in there, it rings. So you may have no light signature at all. I put my IR light on, which most people can't see unless they're using night vision, and I see this at the end of someone's gum when they're walking along. It's like glittering. Looks a little bit like this. I'm trying to get it to do it. There you go. Like it blooms out. So be very cautious of the way that your platforms are set up, and you know what light's being exposed. Again, it's all stuff we're gonna talk about when it comes down to the event. Anyway, right guys, I'm gonna bounce. Any more questions? Quickly fire them over now. All this stuff about light discipline and everything will be stuff that we start covering at the event. We'll go into much more advanced stuff, so we'll be doing all this sort of shit. It'll be good. Anyway, thank you very much for joining, guys. New people that are joining. Sad to say that I can't see who's here, but if you do have any questions, then whack them over. Mike, I really want you to come along to their NV night. If you can do it, mate, it'd be awesome. Good advice, man. Use PVS7s at work. Oh, fucking hate PVS7. It's great. Have a mate who's used the 15s. They are amazing. Just very tempted by the Quicksilver, but don't know the standard of FOSS. Yeah, just see what the form of the tube is. So if it's a high foam tube, it's going to be better than a low foam tube. But I would try both out. Go and see, you know, if you have to go up to Castle Douglas in Scotland, that's where Scott Country is. Go and hang out with them for the evening. If you're going to drop 4 or 5 grand on nods, I'm sure that they will hang out for you and you can have some beers with them and try them out. See what you think. I actually personally didn't like them, but it is what it is. I'm a stippler. I'm old school. Right, any more questions? Whack them over. Mike, I can't wait to see you, dude. It's been a long time. It's been a long time. And it's getting dark now, so I wanna play this PEQ. Have you tried the HoloSun IR lasers? No, but I will be trying them as soon as we can get past getting them into the country. All of the decent HoloSuns, I just want to say, are border controlled and fucking really difficult to get hold of. I think it's the GL2232, something like that. G is their latest one. It's very slim, very narrow. It comes with an IR illuminator and IR laser, but it's blocked at the moment for export. I'm trying to get my hands on them. Are you Dave Hunt's twin? I don't know who Dave Hunt is. He likes Satan also. Yeah, we all tend to be bald and weird. Anyway, any more questions? But no, I'm not. I'm not anyone's twin. My beard's gone. HoloSun are real steel. They're very good, not cheap. Yeah, yeah. Jamie, me and you have spoke about trying to get them before. If you're watching now and you haven't put a like on the video, guys, please whack a like on it. It'd be fucking awesome. I've been here for nearly an hour in the shed, waiting to drink some more beers, showing you how to fix one of these things. If you have any questions about this, please feel free to whack me a comment over on Instagram. I'm going to bounce. Thank you very much for joining. I really appreciate all the support and everything that you guys give the channel. Thank you for throwing a thumbs up on the video. Any questions, whack them in the comments box below. Hopefully it's been helpful. Let me know if any of you guys do these mods and if they help you out. I'm going to bounce. Have a good one. Peace.